Welcome everybody to this symposium on the 27th of August 2024. So we're going to do a live stream today. Okay, so we were looking at a couple of things. We looked at the Euro USD, the Kiwi. We've got this going on here. This is the Kiwi. So prices were kind of moving off of this low. It's this low. If you stand on your head, it's a low. But if you're looking at the charts properly, then it would actually be a high. So we have this. Prices were doing this. They were kind of wriggling higher. Let's see where we were roughly. Okay, so this is where the top of the area was. So we want to maybe 2 times that. And prices moved away. We moved through this little area of demand, which took out this high here. So we're just waiting for prices to retrace. We did get a little retracement. We did not quite manage to move back up into that area. So because we did not move further down, that would make me nervous to hold it. So I'm just going to wait for price to revisit the highs, or maybe even just move it way higher and just wait for prices to show us that they're going to do something. So I'm going to leave it like that for the time being, just because I've got that order in there. And I'm going to put my alarm up here like so. Alright. And we've got one on oil, which we're in just now. And we got filled yesterday on this little price nodule here. I forgot to move this before, as the session was ending, as my session, at least my trading session was ending. We had my son's 11th year birthday, so everything kind of got turned upside down, which is just the way it should be. But anyway, so prices took us in, and now we're just kind of like bouncing around here, and so we'll see what happens. I would have been happy with a run higher and then rejection before we move below this, but we'll have to wait and see. So now prices are kind of like just messing around there. We have a look on the 4 hour. Yeah, okay, I like this. I like that we went above this zone here. So we have a parent and a child. Here, this is the child here, and here's the parent here. Prices went up to the parent, closed below. We had another go. We closed below. So I'm thinking that we will. We're early Asia. Liquidity's thin, so we'll maybe have a run higher. Maybe not during this session, but maybe later today. And then I would anticipate, if this happened, if we moved above here, some moving lower to refill these inefficiencies here, which we talked about yesterday. But I'm already in it, so that's fine. So we'll leave that alone, and then see what we have to do here later. Right. So let's have a look at this. This is the dollar Swiss franc. Yeah, so we had this. I moved this down just now. We did not get filled. We had an order. Actually, I think, where was this? Yeah, the order did not get filled. I can't remember where I moved it from, but I think it was around here somewhere. And so I'm just going to leave it down here at these lows until something happens. Because what we're seeing here is, I'm going to move it outside the range. What we're seeing here is on the 1 hour chart, on the daily chart, the 1 day chart, you can see here that prices are kind of stuck in this buy zone just here. So we had a little period of agreement, prices left, we accumulated, we kind of pulled the slingshot bat. So the buy zone is right there where the blue line is, which we can see here, which is roughly at the lows here. Actually, isn't it where the entry is? Just above. So that's right. So around here. And the spread would not have taken us in at the lows anyway. So what I'm expecting, or what I would expect prices to do, is we've got some sideways price movement at a buy zone on the daily chart, and so I'd expect prices, see, they're just doing this, I would expect them to gap lower and then close within the range before continuing higher to address this. Oh, bloody hell. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, so I'd expect prices to kind of dash for the lows, which we're not seeing yet, and so, I mean, ideally we just wait. So we just kind of move this lower somewhere it's safe, and then we'll wait for prices to unfold. I'm just going to take that off. I'm just going to wait until we see something here, which we're not seeing yet. We've not seen anything yet, and so we want to see prices prices did, I've got this marked off, if prices came to the lows just here, stop, around here, that would be really interesting, because then we would see prices kind of moving to the week low from last week, and then if we manage to move down there and not close beyond that, I mean, that would be quite interesting. So we just have to wait for that to occur, which has not yet happened. Okay, and this is the whole thing when I say like the previous week, the previous day, previous month. This is I mean, there are two ways you can find liquidity, and you have price-based liquidity and you have time-based liquidity. And time-based liquidity is liquidity that is period-centric, so the highs and the lows, sometimes opens and closes of previous periods, while price-based is just extreme prices. We talk about like the top and the bottom of the book, stuff like that. Yes, I mean, there's not a lot to do just yet for the time being, although we did gap lower and moving above. Let me turn off my telephone. Got the builder sending messages. Okay, so let's go to the pound and have a wee gander. Yeah, so I mean, I like this because we are at the weekly. I would prefer more happy to move that a little higher. Go away here. Like that, it made sense on the daily. There was a little, so this is where we have this period of consolidation around here. Alright, gosh, lots of telephone joy this morning. Okay, so here we have, this is a zone, a test, a departure. So this is the sell zone for this supply here, just around here. So we want to mark off the high of the test. That's where the slingshot was pulled back to. Okay, so just waiting for prices to kind of poke up there. And on the 1 hour, the smaller time frames here, I mean, there's nothing here. We need to see some very specific patterns, and we're not seeing those yet. So, sitting on hands, waiting. Euro USD, so kind of waiting for prices to do something here. I wanted to sell here. The problem was, where's my pen? Here, that we did not move below here. These were equal highs. I think I marked this off. And so, I mean, you want prices you want them to move through this, which we did not yet get. So equal highs tells us that there is liquidity under here, which means that we're likely gonna go higher. But I was looking to sell here, but we did not get that. But now we're getting something that looks interesting, and that is this. Prices to go below and then sweep higher before we wriggle south on the daily chart. Let's zoom out on the weekly. Maybe there's something clearer. Here on the weekly chart, we just have this spot. So we have the supply here, beautiful supply, tested once. So if we manage to get up here, this is a little bit away, but if we were able to move up here, then I think we would see a very beautiful reason to manage a risk, take on some risk in order to capitalize on the rebalancing of this price inefficiency. But we're still waiting for prices to move higher, and on the smaller time frames, we are not yet breaking down. Okay, we're still forming demand below price. We had one here tested, this one inefficient, so that's strong move here, inefficient, buy zone established here, inefficient. We came back about 50% of that move, but we have not yet removed this, and so we want prices to start taking out demand before we can look to sell, which we have not yet seen. So nothing to do there either for the time being. Let me move this on the smaller time frames. Go here, 4 hour. Put this on the 15. Okay, so here we are reacting on these slingshots just here. This is the daily chart. Some pretty decent reactions. And price is just moving high. I mean, I think we're probably going to maybe sweep and maybe sweep. I mean, we need to see things, kind of the theme change a little bit. We're still watching this, and so we need things to change. We have this. We're kind of taking out highs, which is a good thing. We poked into here, okay, but we need. I want like prices to sweep lower, seek liquidity before they wriggle high. So there's not a lot to do just here. We're just having a nice reaction off this little area of supply, which was responsible for trading below yesterday's low. Yeah, but not happening just yet. Not happening just yet. So waiting on that as well. We have the American dollar, Canadian dollar. Yeah, so we're waiting. What are we waiting for? So here we formed on the weekly. So on the daily, this is going to be nice and clear. So we had a pretty nice zone here. Here, the sell zone is all the way down here. That's really far away, and so that would not be an ideal spot, because the stop would have to be a place that would provide protection, which is really far away. So that would be a terrible place. Instead, we would wait for prices to test some lows, which it's done here. It tested this low, which is an important one, and it's important because when we left there, we traded above all of these highs from here. Now we tested there. You can see the bottom of the sell side box is kind of poked into it. So now we just need the other side to form. We're slowly seeing something emerge. Maybe we don't know until it's happened. But you want prices they don't always look pretty, like this. But you want to see, we need prices to trade higher. We've kind of run through here inefficiently. And so now we just need prices to run higher before we can see that things are going to happen. So this I'm going to remove. We're just going to wait and see what happens. So there's nothing to do there either. The Aussie USD. Yeah, so we talked about this. We had a nice reaction off here. And then prices really jumped higher. Let me see if we managed to get as high as the previous high. We did not. We did not manage to trade. I think we just missed this high by a Nat's Fanny. No worries. And so now we have to, what we want to see is we want to see prices sweep down, sweep up, and then sweep down, and then trade into it and then down, because what we're seeing on a micro scale is this. Okay, and this seems to be in the works. On the 1 hour maybe we can see it, or maybe the 4 hour it's slightly clearer. Here where you can see inefficient runs higher, testing the highs from last week, and now we just need prices either to run higher and then break down, or go down from here and then revisit this, which again has not yet happened. And so there's a lot of waiting. Normally you'll notice that we have things normally start to happen towards the middle of the week, because on Friday people are unwinding their positions. So normally you'll see, if I just draw this, where on Monday prices are sideways, Friday prices are sometimes sideways, and then normally we'll have accumulation or distribution, and then we'll have prices exploring liquidity, typically with runs below, and then a rebalancing. And if it's on the other side, it looks like this: runs higher and then rebalancing. Okay, so today, maybe tomorrow, it's maybe a good day for things to begin to expand. So we're just trying to find that now. This is why they always say that, like, Monday is typically a bad day to trade, on Friday, because this is where prices typically don't go anywhere. But Tuesday, Wednesday is ideally where you want to trade, because this is where you're seeing liquidity exploration, as prices kind of seek liquidity higher for selling or low for buying. This is a buy. This is a sell example here. This model, and then prices will typically move lower. But we're kind of still waiting for that to unfold. And today is the day that we will likely see some expansion at some stage. But we're still waiting patiently. Let's have a look at another one. This is the euro, British pound. What do we have here? So, okay, so here we are, and my alarm did not, maybe it went off a couple of days ago. Prices were poking in here, but you can see that prices are kind of testing these zones at this high here. This is the high that qualified this zone. Prices were able to trade above it. Okay, so this is telling us that we have some clout down here. Got these all over the place from different pairs. And so, I mean, what we could do is, because we are poking into the buy zone for this demand on the 4 hour, 1 hour likely, we could begin to look for prices to tell us that they're going to move higher on here on the hourly chart. You can see here that we have sideways price movement, attempts lower, failure, as in prices come back. They come back into here. Okay, and so we're very clearly seeking liquidity lower. And on the daily chart, which we saw to the right, you could see that we've come to the end of a swing. So we have an origin here, we have the destination of that move. Boxing is going to put us, it's going to put us a premium discount, and we're in the absolute lower end of this. So this is a really good zone to buy. If you watched some of the other videos I've done, this is just a really decent zone to begin to buy it. And so also here we had the week's low. Yeah, this went off yesterday when I was doing birthday. So this is actually a really interesting spot. So now we need prices to begin to trade higher. And once that happens, once we begin kind of breaking out of here, we start to do that, then we're in good shape. Stops below, you could do, for example, you could do market here, which is a bit of a wide one. You could do limits here, stops down here, and targets at opposing zones, looking on perhaps the slightly bigger time frames. So the euro pound could be setting up for a long. We just have to wait for prices to tell us what direction they're going to run in. So we're still waiting for that, but that might happen sometime today. Yeah, let's have a look at the S&P. Yeah, so we poked up into this daily supply. See if these are in the same family. Yeah, they are. We poked up, and now we're breaking down. So here, I think this is from another asset. This is from the same one. I added a label here, as you can see. If I hold, let me go like this. If I go like that, you can see here, you see it says US 500 cash, so you know what symbol it was drawn on. I have to make it so that it disables them, so you can't see them on the chart that it was not drawn on, otherwise it gets cluttered, as you can see. But what we can see here is we can see this. Prices are here. Okay, so they're looking like they're preparing to run. They're kind of tight, and they're beginning to do this. We're going high, moving lower. Okay, so this could be something that's telling us that we are going to move lower and rebalance these price inefficiencies. Buy zone, price inefficiency, buy zone. So these could be a reasonable take profit 1, take profit 2 for shorts on the S&P there. So keep your eye on that. Maybe on the smaller time frame, on the 15-minute, we might be able to see the first signs of that. Yeah, low liquidity, running higher, failing. Yeah, so we just want prices to run higher from here. if we get above here, I was going to put like an alarm there. Then I'll look to begin to sell because of where we are here on the greater scheme of things. Yeah, good. I think that's enough for one moment. That's what I'm looking at for the time being. If you have any questions, please do let me know. And once again, thanks for watching.